Good morning, folks. Welcome to Professional Development Day. Thank you for joining us. So you want to be a social media superstar, do you? Well, you might be in the right place. I'm Dave Thackeray, digital content strategist. If you don't know me, where have you been? I've been here over a year now and I've been chasing you and you've just not been around when I need you. But anyway, you're here now and that's all that matters. We're going to talk today about this changing world of ours, social media, because it has changed. The goalposts have moved. We now have to fight to get the attention of our prospective students. This is why you're here, and this is why I'm really excited that we're going to take some great leaps forward today. Whether you're representing your curriculum area, whether your support area, we've all got some great things to learn, and I think in these few minutes, a bit more than a few, depends on your definition of the word few, we're going to get through some solid ideas and learn from Aldi. I mean, who would have thought a few short years ago we'd be seriously considering brands, big supermarket brands, as showing us the way ahead, how to engage people, how to get on the map for social media. And though these guys have got great national audiences and we've got very much a regional approach, there's a tremendous amount we can learn pretty much from anybody. And I've been having some fantastic conversations lately with tutors who have really started to grasp the nettle with social media. They can see the light, they can see how now we're starting to get a little bit more like normal again. Students are back in, we're starting to practice the kind of exciting things that we've been renowned for nearly 130 years. We can really start bearing fruit with this incredible content that we're seeing happen in front of our eyes every day. I'm going on. This is what I'm like. I get excited about social media, and I'm sure by the end of our session together you will too. I'm sure you're already there. So let's not mess around and beat around the bush anymore. So you want to be a social media superstar? I wouldn't mind myself. Let's learn together and see where we go. So, right, let's get started. First things first, I want to talk to you about three things today. If there's three things you take away from today, it's a rescue pup. No, it's not. That's a complete distraction. It's a red herring. I want you to take away care. I want you to take away community. And I want you to take away consistency, right? If there's anything you need to know about social media, it's those three words. Because if you don't care what people think about you, if you don't excite yourself before hitting post, dead in the water. What social media is these days is that opportunity to develop relationships, to create empathy, to grow our mind share of the people who want to know more about us. And even if they don't know that they want to know more about us, this is our opportunity, all of us, to be publishers, to show these lucky people all of the tremendous things that we're doing day to day. And that is consistency. There's no point posting stuff on a weekly basis. We've got to cut through the noise, and there's so much of it out there. But the great thing is, when it comes to colleges like us, there ain't a great deal of fascinating, absorbing, compelling, captivating content. So we have got this amazing chance to do the different, to put on a pedestal that we're outstanding. And this is where I'm going to take you through some of the greatest Aldi tweets, right? Now, I've got to say at this point, Twitter, for me, I'm biased, is the be-all and end-all. But I know that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I know that Twitter isn't necessarily going to be right for you. I know you've probably started dabbling in IGTV, Reels, which, as you probably know, is a little bit of a rip-off of TikTok. And TikTok itself is exploding in popularity. So if you're looking for nice, short videos that you can get out there, TikTok is a great place to be, and it's very low barrier to entry. So talk to us, social media at blackpool.ac.uk. Don't bother with your pens now. This is supposed to be a really nice, fun, refreshing, engaging session. All the details will either be at the end, or you can just drop me a line. Dave Thackeray, digital content strategist. I've already talked about that. You know where I am. Contact me and let's start figuring things out together. But Aldi And these tweets that I'm going to show you really drive home the importance of, just like I said, doing the different. And every day you need to be thinking, when you're wandering the corridors, when you're socially distanced from students and you're showing you things, when we've got visiting lecturers coming in. Musical theatre have got a fantastic industry week coming up. Might be a little dated by the time you read this, but they've got some visiting lecturers doing their Teams sessions. Unbelievable, some really big names that are joining themselves to our fantastic college. There's so much acreage here that we can explore and adventure together. So what I'm going to say to you is, start thinking after this session about how you can do 5 social media posts that resonate with your community, that show that you care. And because you've got 5 in the bag, that's consistency. Talk about connections then, which is very much at the heart of community, and it's where we are right now. So just looking at this tweet now, and I absolutely love this. So somebody's just tweeted Aldi, and we get a lot of people connecting with us and atting us on all our social media networks. And actually, if you don't already use Hootsuite and Streams, which can let you query brands including BNFC or BNFC Construction or BNFC Hair and Beauty Therapies, whatever it is that you're doing, you can get to the bottom of that by putting that query into Streams on Hootsuite. Now, Hootsuite is a social media management tool. It's also free. Starting to think. Create connections. So here, this is all about sort of reacting to people. Now, really exciting thing about this, and you can do this on any social media platform. You can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Twitter, you can do it on LinkedIn, because don't forget, LinkedIn now has stories too, right? So if you're doing commercial courses, you're talking to businesses, LinkedIn stories now lets you bring your content to life. You can mess around with stickers, you can do some great video. Please just try. Just try. Don't feel like you have. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm shaking my computer around. Don't fret about doing it wrong within reason. Be respectful to your audience. Think, could I shout this in a pub and not get told off? That's the border. That's the boundary. That's the outlier. Be respectful of the college, right? This is a brand, so focus on that. Creating connections, though, fundamentally, is all about shouting out the goodness of your community. And obviously, Sarah here, beautiful picture of a lovely dog. And straight away, Aldi found a connection, thinking, oh, I can, get a bit of exposure for everybody. And 104 likes ain't too shabby, and this nice little things like this. Incidentally, I don't know if you saw, it's Colleges Week right now, yeah? Well, we're at the end of it if you're watching this sort of live, 10:45-ish on Friday the 23rd of October. That'll get dated really quick. But we posted on Twitter a little house made of characters, got 11 likes. It's quite nice. Who knew? Try these things, experiment, be daring, be audacious, because actually inspiring, intriguing, entertaining, exciting people is where social media is at right now. Okay, this is a nice one, isn't it? So if you're like me and addicted to Aldi, you always make a beeline. As soon as you go through the doors, squirt your hands straight down the middle aisle. That's where the magic happens. It's better with Lidl because you've got the middle at Lidl. I like that. But obviously Aldi's got its own little version of that, its interpretation. It's building a brand around the middle aisles. It knows what it's got. It's not daft. The gold is there. So they've got their own hashtag now. I love Aldi. Aisle of Aldi, right? So put it into context. So say you're automotive and motorsport and you're starting to think about all the different cars that you've got on the things, yeah? There's a lot to take into account. I can't remember all the different perambulations. But if you've got taking some pictures, right, of all of the different chassis, all of the stuff that's going on, all of the things you're working on, and building some sort of an exciting concept around that. Say you're going to take apart a car, right? You could go through the whole process of taking apart a car. That Wheeler Dealers on TV, really exciting. Big Ed China, what happened? Mike Brewer, all right. If you start thinking about sequences of events, right? So if you are taking apart a car, or you're fitting an engine, or I'm still talking about automotive and motorsport here, by the way, you can actually take those component parts and make it into a sequence and build a hashtag around it. And then people are like, oh, what are they going to post next? Amazing. Aldi've got that down to a T. 1,500 likes because they've got aisles in the middle of the store. Come on, give me a break. This is really nice, right? This is really nice, and I think this is the important bit that we sometimes overlook. We sometimes take ourselves a little bit too seriously, and for right or wrong, there's a lot of serious things that are going on at college, but also we need to be positively humorous about everything that we do, because it just brings to life the fact that we are human. We're not inaccessible. In fact, we're quite the opposite. We're inclusive of everybody and everything. So if you're doing something, and I'll go back to hair and beauty therapists because it's very close to my heart, as you can tell. If you're doing some sort of a makeup session and it's just a little bit different, or maybe somebody's just done something accidental, maybe somebody's made somebody look like the Joker when it should be one of the Bond girls. It's funny, people like that stuff, and they know we know what we're doing. Don't fret about people going to think that this is a little bit dicey. They're not, because we've been doing what we do, like I said, for nearly 130 years now. We got this. Don't be afraid, if everybody's happy, to poke a little bit of fun at ourselves for the benefit of our audience, because they love that sort of stuff. And this little name drop about Beyonce, you know, we don't talk about the celebs that come to our parties. Beyonce told us that. It's really nice, it's cute, and again, and I think we might talk about this further downstream, but don't also be afraid to shout out other colleges. This is great. I love this, and this is where this whole Aldi thing sort of started, really, where they were inviting the Co-op, and they were inviting John Lewis, they're inviting Tesco and not Asda, don't like Asda for some reason, inviting all of the supermarkets to their 30th birthday party. It's nice, it makes people feel united. Your viewers, your customers like the idea that you're friendly. They don't see this fierce competition, this rivalry. They just want to go shopping and they want to see what you're up to. And the more you develop this empathetic brand that feels human, nobody likes brands, which is why if you're a curriculum area, you've actually got a home court advantage over us who develop our central college-wide accounts, because you can become a little bit closer to the people than we do. We're not standoffish, but we've got to represent the college as a whole. We're a little less real than you are if you're representing SHAC or any one of these other curriculum areas, travel and tourism, or just LML in general. You are closer to the students. You've got more chance to build up these communities that can, let's not forget, I'm talking about prospective students, but equally important to you is the current student, to keep them motivated, to keep them inspired, to show them, if they've not been to college for a while, to show them what they're missing out on. Always be thinking visual first. Take exception to this one because Beyonce's involved and everything's got an outlier. This is really nice, isn't it? Asking questions, right? Or just finding out a little bit more about your audience. Social media is a real living survey opportunity. So question. Tesco, Twitter's got polls, Facebook's got polls. You can ask questions. What was that? Remember that guy Egg out of, oh goodness me, what was it called, that show? He ended up, anyway, he was in, I think he was in Love Actually, maybe, where he had the cards and he was dropping the cards and he was saying I love you and all that, and she was all blushy and, you know, she knew he loved her, and it was so cute. You could do that on any social platform. Get a load of cards and write some stuff down. Do it quiet, put some music in the background, but make sure it's licensed. If you're doing stuff on YouTube, you can choose in the Creator Studio all of the licensed music to use on your videos. Exciting, isn't it? What I'm coming to is always involve your audience. Ask them questions because they love this stuff. Everybody wants to be part of something. It goes back to that community, care, consistency, community, do you remember? Yeah, really important stuff. Great stuff. Straight away, look at this. It's almost like I knew this was coming. It's good people start talking about the results. So that you've got that legacy. You get people involved, you initiate the conversation, you get people feeding back, you've got the feedback, And then you've got some more content to talk about. Not only that, but any feedback you get, whether you're using Facebook for insights or whether you're taking it straight from things like this, tweets, the actual social content itself, all of this feedback is so super valuable because it will influence what you post next. Always have a content calendar. It's massively important. I've been working with the T-Levels team lately to build out a content calendar for the next academic year. It takes a lot of effort to kind of create that sort of content, but you know what? It's great because everybody's on board. You start thinking about future events, you start thinking about the curriculum, all the stuff that you've got planned, and you know, best laid plans, it's not guaranteed, we know that. You've got to be agile and flexible, but you've got all this stuff ahead on a plate. Shout out to Jordan there, one of our social media champions from Level 6 Catering and Hospitality. They do incredible work. If you want a great social media account at BNFC to follow, just take a look at all the stuff that they're doing because it is A1. You're all doing amazing stuff. Look at each other's stuff. That's another thing, you know, you talk about talking to people who are looking at your content. Talk among yourselves. We've got a Teams channel for social media champions. So if you want to get in on that, if you're not already talking there, if you're not already asking questions internally among your colleagues at BNFC, get on it. Ask another social media champion. In fact, we need to really start moving this forward, and we should soon, hot tip, keep this to yourselves, we should have a social media officer coming on stream soon who can actually be a little bit more responsive than maybe I am. I run 7 Ways to Sunday right now, not making excuses. I've got a very fast skateboard. This is the way that we can start to actually work together as one college to do the different. So competition partners, talked a little bit about that. Have fun with other people. So if you've got another college that you work with very closely, Hugh Baird, Southport College, whoever you like, Blackpool 6th, why not? You were all friends in different kinds of ways. Get them involved in stuff that is fun for the benefit of the wider world, our prospective students, our wider community, the town of Blackpool, anything. Don't feel afraid to bring them in because they'll give you different states of mind, different opinions, different perspectives. Why not? Why not? Do it. And again, hashtags are great if you like indexing stuff because they're not only great for the prospective student or the viewer or the reader, all kinds of different kinds of content these days, it blows your mind. They're also great for us because we can start to review all the stuff that we've done under that hashtag, start making different directions. You got the score. Life's a maze. Never get lost. This is really cool, right? So Aldi went out on a limb here. They were asking people what they think is happening in the world of Aldi, and maybe they didn't expect that more than 2/3 of people were going to say I'm not interested. Well, they should have done because Aldi still, no matter how much fun they are, they're still a brand. Just realised I'm in a rocking, rolling, reclining chair, which is why you're getting all the friction. You don't have to look at me, that's not the main event. The main event is on the screen, forget about it. So anyway, so you might say that it backfired because this might not necessarily be the message that Aldi wanted to read, but actually I think it was, because I think by making the consumer feel like they've got the upper hand, it's actually you that's won. You've got them to engage. Engaging is the holy grail. Circling back to the very beginning when I said that they are investing, everybody invests to commit themselves to your content, right? It is an investment. Therefore, they expect a return on their investment. If they're investing in you, that shows that you've got merit. It's so hard to get people interested these days. So the fact that they've taken that leap of faith to be with you on social media, to read your content, goes back to an article I wrote quite a while ago all about the fact that I think that now people are buying us through our social media. They are saying to us, this is a conversion, therefore you must give me something of value in return. Every post that you make on social media, doesn't matter if it's Snapchat, which we don't use so much more these days, that's fine, we might come back. TikTok, which we're moving into, LinkedIn for business, Facebook for nice conversations and a little bit more life, joie de vivre, find out what people are up to. Twitter, which is more sort of newsy, short, sharp bites. different kind of audience on all these platforms. Again, thinking about this, if you've only got time to be very sparing with posting and publishing on social media, just focus relentlessly on the channel that your prospective students are most keen on. We haven't got enough granular data to tell us that they're mad about TikTok. We hear a lot of people saying, I'm running away from Facebook, they're taking over the world, but people are still on Facebook. We know they're on Facebook. We centrally in marketing spend a lot of money every year on all the different social platforms promoting content. We still see a heck of a lot of traction on Facebook. Don't rule it out. Twitter's great if you want to sort of build some more meaningful relationships, and always remember when you're on Twitter to always call people out in a good way, or call out events, or hashtag things, because the more you do that on Twitter, Twitter is intended to be an interactive, as they all are, an interactive medium. So don't just put stuff out there, don't put a picture out there in a video that you've worked on for days and just throw it out there and just expect people to react. Find people who will be interested in the content that you are about to put out there and at them in. At other curriculum areas from BNFC. Ask them to share for you. Get on the Social Media Champions Teams channel. Share your social media content calendar. I've gone way off kilter now. 21 minutes, you must be bored to tears. But I think we're making some good progress here, aren't we, around those three themes of care, community and consistency. You're starting to get a real understanding. We'll come to the end of this session on what we can learn from Aldi and its 30th birthday bash. I can't believe they're 30 years old. It's crazy the amount of time that makes me... Christ, I'm old. This is where I need you to tell me what you're struggling with, because by now you're probably getting a fairly good impression of what it takes to be a social media superstar. It ain't an overnight gesture. We're all not going to be on top of our game just yet. And you know what? That's okay, because it's not us. As long as we're putting out great content and we're being consistent and we're showing our prospective students that as a college, as well as ourselves, we really care what they want to read, to hear, or to watch. There's a little bit of a rhyme going on here. Care more, share more. And that brings me into that consistency realm as well. So show you care. Do it 5 times a week if you possibly can. Gather momentum, speak to your colleagues, speak to the wider college, get on the Social Media Champions Teams channel. If you're not on that, email us, socialmedia@blackpool.ac.uk. And eventually, together, we will get our capes. We will be social media superstars. I'm absolutely adamant about that, and we'll always be here to support you in whatever you do. But please, if there's one thing you take away from today's session, it's to start thinking seriously, because this knits these 3 themes together, about a social media calendar. Start reflecting on what's been happening. March to August, crazy few months. But even despite COVID, people have been putting out some great content. So review all of the different social media profiles that we've got across the college. Get some inspiration from them, because more often than not, that will resonate with your audience. If they're prospective students, the chances are they're looking at 2 or 3 different subject areas right now. They'll value that. So don't be afraid to do some, as we call them, joint ventures with other curriculum areas, but always be thinking about your social media calendar, because as soon as that starts to fill up, it doesn't need to be complicated. Get a spreadsheet, throw it on OneDrive, socialise it with your curriculum counterparts or your pals in support areas. Wider, whoever you want. Get some buy-in, get some examples, suggest some people, showcase some expert tutor profiles, show pictures with your students' permission of visiting lecturers coming in virtually via Teams or physically onto the campus once that becomes available. The name of the game here is to show everyone that we're a caring, compassionate, supportive, exciting, engaging, informing, inspiring college. And we're outstanding. Whether you're coming to do essential skills, whether you're coming to start after school, this is your first time of seriously thinking about careers, you're coming back to higher education, you turn into PGCE because you eventually want to teach at Blackpool-on-the-Fylde College. We serve so many people. Chances are there's some really exciting stuff that we can share with them, and I'm so excited to see what you create as a result of all this. So please stay in touch. Thank you for staying the duration. I know it's been hard, but I do appreciate it. And don't worry, you think today's been hard for you, wait till you see my muscles at the end of the day.